I support the student voice because I think it actually helps us improve what we do. I think to have student representation is important, but to have students who are prepared and supported and well-resourced to do that representation to the best of their abilities, then it's even better. I think in supporting student voice, USASA is sending a really strong message that we do value our current community of students, and our students make up such an enormous component of our community. The university is here first and foremost because of its students, and it's incredibly important that we demonstrate that we listen to them. The value of student representation is the breadth and diversity of voices that are able to come into our consideration when we're making decisions, when we're looking at opportunities, or when we're addressing issues.
As an international student, I know the challenges and struggles faced by the students, so I understand the importance of having a student voice that can relay your messages and your concerns and needs to a higher level. This motivated me to be the student representative so that I can be the voice for the students. Sitting on the decision-making panels with UNISA staff is exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's an amazing experience to see how the university values your input and wants a student voice on their decision-making panel.
Student representation is about bringing the experience of people who are a core part of the university and who get to live and breathe the university every day, sharing their experience to help make the university a better place.
Over the years I've worked with a lot of student reps, and increasingly what I'm seeing is that it's more of a partnership. You have agency in a conversation. I think the institution would be incredibly boring if students didn't have voice, and it would be a shame if that voice was just broadcast and not received. So that the entire purpose behind this program, behind this project, is to make sure that people recognise that they have agency, they can talk, and they will be heard.
UniSA is your university, and being a part of shaping that is a really rewarding experience, whether that's gaining skills you need for your future career or helping to shape what your university looks like for your peers. Then that's something which you can do through student voice, and it's an opportunity that you wouldn't necessarily have somewhere else.
The best inputs we get are from the people in the organisation, and the people in the organisation are not just the staff in the organisation. There are far more students with far more ideas and far more insight to what can make this place better in the classrooms, in the laboratories, researchers, PhD students, undergraduates, and we want to hear from them.
For me, student representation stands for creating inclusive opportunities for people in the university and creating a voice for them so that they can be heard. I've learned a lot throughout my time as a student voice delegate, and when you sit with staff members, you get to learn a lot the way they think. A few things that I have gained out of that is ethical consideration, learning how to balance my own values as well as the values that the university has and the values that other staff members hold, making sure that we're making a fair decision for everyone. For a professional challenge, I would say sometimes raising a voice and bringing a change can get a lot of resistance. So to overcome that, I had to again gather all the evidence from students, have a chat with them about what's going on, and actually build a strong case to make sure that we can bring the right change. For students who are planning to become student voice delegates, I would say understand where your vision is and understand your motivation, because it's not about just having that title, it's also about creating that impact. Learn how to network and communicate clearly. Start small just by volunteering around in USASA events or UniSA events, and of course enjoy the journey, because there's a lot to learn, there are a lot of challenges, embrace those challenges.
Student voice definitely has its part to play in the online space, especially the communication isn't there constantly because online students aren't wandering around campus. We don't have the option to sort of ask somebody nearby or just raise a question. So the online communication component of student voice I think is critical for online students such as myself. It's very unique because you've got a lot of people that have completely different lives outside of university. So people with children, people with full-time jobs such as myself, people who are only logging on maybe one day a week and slamming it all out and then doing the same thing next week. It's a really unique way to study. It's still fairly new, and sometimes the communication between the university and online students isn't always there because you're just kind of sitting at home for so much of it. Luckily, most of the courses have got a lot of interaction mediums, so course forums. Some of them have got direct communication. We've always got access to it, to our emails. And a lot of the courses, especially the ones that I'm in, they've got weekly drop-in sessions. So if we're struggling with content, or we just want to get a little bit of extra face-to-face time with our tutors, we can actually do that. And sure, it's not the same as going to class and interacting with them, but the fact that we still have the option to actually work face-to-face, if we want to, is good. It's really good.
So working with student reps virtually is not an issue for me at all. One of the things that I got really excited about with UniSA Online was the chance to offer educational opportunities to people who couldn't make it on campus, who couldn't study between 9 and 5. That virtual space is really a comfortable space and also a flexible space that meets students' needs, so it's really important. It is absolutely essential to always be thinking of the stakeholders that you're engaging with, right? That's true in business, it's true in education, it's true in your personal life, it's everything. And so to be able to provide that for students who can say, okay, well, I've spoken to my peers and here's what I need, that is absolutely essential. We do a lot of work with what we call the Student Advisory Group. This is students who are coming to represent the student body within UniSA Online. And we have, at UniSA Online, we have many of the disciplines that are in the university. So we have an opportunity to hear from a really diverse group of people about what their needs are. And when you bring all of these voices into a room together, all these different dynamics that mean that people are bringing something different to the table, which is really exciting. And so it's this really strong voice, but really diverse.
To me, student voice and representation means that we give opportunity for students to become involved in governance and leadership within the university. So I think it seems very relevant that we make sure that there is a good process that supports students if they're interested in going into governance and leadership, and the voice gives them that opportunity to do the education. And representation is about being heard. So as a chair of the Academic Standards and Strategy Quality Committee, one of the things we do there is we look at all of the program documentation that has already gone through a screening process at academic unit level. Having students as observers onto that committee, I think, is a really good learning for them about, first of all, the variety of activity that goes on across the university, and then also the sorts of questions that get asked back to representatives from those areas where the paperwork's come from. So it's a really good loop of quality assurance that goes on, and it's a really important committee, and it's great to have students involved in it.
To people who are considering being involved, having a voice as a student, your voice is really valued. We do want to know. We want to create respectful learning communities where everybody feels safe to have a say, and we care about students' well-being and their progress, but we may not get the full picture, and that's what I learned from being able to have those conversations with the ASRs, that they can bring a perspective that we might not necessarily capture in the classroom. We meet at least every month to talk about how things are going in the program, and we take that opportunity as a time where we can look at how we can enhance the student experience and enhance student engagement. If you're considering working with USASA, I'd strongly encourage that as a student, because it's an independent body where you can work with other people with similar or maybe different ideas to you. So you'll be exposed to another community within a community, really, where you can support your peers, and you can grow yourself as a person, learning to get involved, participate, make a difference in your own and other people's journey through your degree at UniSA.
It's really good having that student perspective coming into the workplace. Allows me to learn a lot quicker, I'd say. So it does teach me those office skills, meeting etiquette, stuff like that. It also teaches me to not really be afraid of speaking up, and you never know if someone else is thinking the same thing and they're just not saying it. So being brave, stepping up and just giving it a good professional go, I'd say.
I learned a lot. In fact, I would liken where I am now, if there's one of those key moments in your career or in your life where you kind of draw back on, it is my time as a student representative, because a lot of the skills I have now can be fed back to that early experience in university. Those leadership opportunities were very, very pivotal to me. The experience has definitely benefited my career because the extension opportunities provided by being a student representative were absolutely pivotal. It gave me a lot of confidence. I also established really great networks. So I came out of that experience with a number of people that could comment on my ability to speak to groups of individuals or present or communicate, and they could actually be an advocate for me in my career as well. I believe in student voice. Do you?
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 I believe in student voice. Do you?